Some of you must have heard about this, the Igbo business trader, the Oga, and the one boy murdered him. This is not the first time, this is not the second, this is not the fourth. I mean, there's a fresh video in my vault where a boy, same method, hitting the Oga with pistol or something. Now, as usual, the Ebonyi people have started with, "We are not sane." Of course. They've started with this, trying to deny they are not this, they just don't want to face this very fact that this is already a pattern. Right? This is no more a single event, it's no more a double event, it's a pattern. Once something becomes a pattern, it's automatically an identity. And when you're trying to ignore or avoid it, doesn't make any sense. I have some friends and from Ebonyi State, and they are not so proud of where they are from. They are kind people, they are smart people, right? Well, sometimes when you ask them where they are from, they just want to be very practical, very fragmented, tell you that I am from Onkalago, I am from, just like that to, evade that very identity. No, you are worsening the whole issue. Some of you are actually the reason why this thing keeps happening. Now, I've actually seen some of the government officials or some people from Ebonyi State already saying, just to defend their people, please, if we continue with this very method, you will keep losing a lot of brilliant minds to jail. Think about the future. I'm talking to the Ebonyi State government and the elite, a lot of people there who empower the youth. Let me start by saying that this very thing with the Ebonyi people is just like every other tribe, every other place, every other state. Every state have a significant anomaly. Let's stop pretending. I have friends from Ebonyi. I've employed Ebonyi people. I've worked with them. I've actually, in many ways, right? And I can tell you that they are not evil. In fact, one boy that I've actually lived with, I lived with that guy for like 3 years when I was in Anambra State. He was the same age range with this kind of temperament and anger. But then I understood their problem. I was able to study them. He's the most honest person I've ever seen in my life. Keep this very thing here. He knows how to keep that very, I've never seen such honest person in my life. Nobody, not even an Anambra friend, has actually shown me that kind of level of honesty. So back to the anomalies of the every state. Every state have their anomalies. The reason why the Ebonyi anomaly is actually the talk of the town is because theirs involves blood, anger, and that anger has a source. That anger is not the regular kind of anger. The only difference is that they have the strength by virtue of how they are actually raised, the agrarian society, the society of, agriculture, and they are warriors by birth. Like, if you study the history of these very people, but the fact that they don't want to accept that their identity is another problem worsening this very thing. The anomaly of an Anambra man is that they worship money. The anomaly of an Imo man is that they like social package. In fact, their social package is way heavier more than their bank accounts. These are things that are real. In the Igbo region, if the Igbo man has some reservation for the Imo man, the Enugu man has some reservation for the Anambra man, it works this way. So the reason why the Ebonyi State own is not much of it is because it involves blood and it doesn't make you people evil. The problem is that many of you haven't really understood the source of where this anger, where this whole thing is coming from, is insecurity. Accept who you are. Accept that very identity. The Ebonyi State youths need a mentorship program more than they need to travel first. What should constitute in this very mentorship program is making them to accept who they are first of all. Nobody is going to accept you out there if you don't accept who you are. You might not understand the weight of this very thing and how it's actually affecting you people. If you are from Ebonyi State, accept fully that you are from Ebonyi State. That acceptance alone makes the person who is trying to know who you are, where you are from, see the weight of authority, understanding that you are backed by the spirit of Ebonyi. That alone signals something that is very huge. It signals authority. Number two, the successful men of Ebonyi people need to tell these very people the essence of mentorship. Tell them how they made it in life, because you're expecting an Anambra person to mentor an Ebonyi person. An Anambra businessman will not change. The Anambra business system, the apprenticeship system, is military. If you understand the business of Onitsha, it's military. The collective image of a city defines that very city. If you go to a part of Onitsha, you see a lot of four-story building. Most of all those four-story buildings don't have borehole. Not because water is far from them, but because most of those landlords suffered not having borehole while serving the organ. So they use that very mentality and want their very own one boy to experience that. You see that kind of mindset. So they won't change because you came to serve them. Rather, you have to adjust. You have to make yourself acceptable in that very environment. Because when an Ebonyi person, Ebonyi youth is leaving the environment of Ebonyi to go and serve somewhere, maybe in Anambra State, he's living with this insecurity that I am less. That thing is one of the biggest insecurities I've seen in most Ebonyi people. And insecurity most times looks like anger. They are not evil people. I've met with them. Whatsoever that actually created that stigma in the first place, don't care about it. If you understand that you are different, you don't need to hide. If you understand you are different, then all you need to do is identify with the good part of Ebonyi. Ebonyi is full of richness and culture and so many things worth standing by with. I mean, they have a lot of billionaires today. So what is the point of shrinking? That shrinking identity should be killed. If the average Ebonyi is mentored, then there is more to them, because I believe that any single person that is living the Ebonyi environment to go and serve wants a better life for himself. So what is the point of killing? They didn't come to kill. They came with a level of insecurity that is very high. An Anambra person, an Anambra boy serving in Anambra, or maybe an Imo or an Enugu boy serving in Anambra, a slap from his organ means business. He's only looking at the 5 years the shop is going to get. But a slap on the Ebonyi boy's face looks like a humiliation. The first thing that comes to his head is because I'm Ebonyi. And nothing hurts a man more than stepping on his dignity. But the mindset that guides this thing is the very thing. That is the reason why they need that empowerment. They need that mentorship big time. This is the source of the problem. It's a pattern already. It's a pattern. Many people didn't know that they would kill their organ today. It's a pattern. So many people might try to avoid this very thing, but it won't end that way. Find it. Have a way to mentor the people of Ebonyi, that Ebonyi is more than it's labeled.